Today's emotional and gripping real-life inspired story is about Rosa Delgado, a hardworking single mother whose life changes in the most unexpected way. Rosa works 2 jobs to support her sick son, Diego. She cleans offices in a Manhattan skyscraper every morning and works nights at a diner, barely sleeping, barely surviving, but never giving up. Her routine life takes a dramatic turn when she crosses paths with Allison Pierce, a wealthy businesswoman fighting to protect her baby from a dangerous and manipulative ex-husband. As tensions rise, Rosa becomes an unexpected witness to a messy custody battle, and eventually finds herself face to face with something far more terrifying. When a hired kidnapper storms into the building and tries to snatch baby Grace, Rosa does the unthinkable. She steps in with nothing but a broom and her bravery. What follows is a heart-stopping moment that changes everything for her, Allison, and their children. "Let go of that baby, or I swear, this broom is going through your skull." The words flew out of Rosa Delgado's mouth before her brain even had time to catch up. She was standing in the marble lobby of Langford Plaza in Manhattan, gripping a wooden broom like a baseball bat, staring down a man twice her size sprinting toward the exit with a screaming infant in his arms. Everyone else in the lobby had frozen. Security was too far away. The mother lay unconscious on the floor. And Rosa, just a 32-year-old housekeeper from Brooklyn, making $15 an hour, was the only thing standing between that kidnapper and the door. What happened in the next 60 seconds would change her life forever. But to understand how a cleaning lady with a broom became a hero, we need to go back 3 weeks earlier, to a morning that looked like every other in Rosa's life. Rosa's alarm buzzed in her tiny studio apartment. She silenced it gently, careful not to wake her son, Diego, who was curled up on the pull-out couch they shared. He was 9, small for his age, with his mother's determined chin and his father's dark eyes. Diego was sick. Very sick. Rosa's eyes fell on a pile of medical bills on the counter, numbers that haunted her dreams. $47,000 for Diego's leukemia treatments. Insurance covered part of it, but not nearly enough. She had 2 jobs, mornings cleaning the offices in Langford Plaza, evenings at a diner in Queens. 4 hours of sleep a night were standard, but she had to keep going. Diego's treatments were working. He was improving. Rosa just needed to survive a little longer, make a little more money, keep fighting. "Mama," Diego murmured. "Shoo, baby. It's early." "Go back to sleep," Rosa whispered. "I have to work today." "Will you be home tonight?" The question cut her heart. "Late, baby. But I'll wake you up before bed. I promise." She kissed his forehead, grabbed her cleaning supplies, and left before he could see her eyes sting with tears. The subway was packed, full of people like Rosa, tired, hustling, holding on to the hope that something better was coming. She closed her eyes for a moment, imagining Diego's smile when she told him yesterday that his blood counts were improving. Just keep going, she told herself. For him. Always for him. The building loomed ahead, 60 stories of steel and glass, home to Manhattan's top companies. Rosa worked for the cleaning company handling the first 20 floors. Her supervisor, a sharp-tongued woman named Helen, was waiting by the service elevator. "You're late, Delgado," Helen barked. Rosa glanced at her watch. 7 o'clock. "I'm right on time, ma'am," she replied softly. Helen's eyes narrowed. "I expect you here at 6:55. Don't let it happen again." "Yes, ma'am. Won't happen again." Helen handed her the assignment list, 18th floor, Langford Investment Group offices. Then came the warning. "I've had complaints about you. Tenants say you're too slow, too focused on perfection instead of speed. I pay you to get it done fast, not perfect. Understand?" Rosa nodded. Understood. Her hands trembled slightly as she rode the elevator up. She couldn't lose this job. Langford Investments' offices were stunning, marble floors, leather chairs, expensive artwork. Rosa started with the bathrooms, moved to conference rooms, then the executive suites. Her mother's words echoed, "If you're going to do something, do it right." She was vacuuming the reception area when she heard voices, raised, frantic, desperate. "You can't just take her. She's my daughter. The custody agreement says otherwise." "I don't care." Rosa froze. She knew she should stay invisible, keep working. But she couldn't ignore the chaos. The office door burst open. A tall, furious man stormed out, red-faced. Behind him, a woman in a tailored suit was crying. "Marcus, we can talk," she started. "We're done talking. My lawyers will be in touch." He stormed past Rosa. The woman, Allison Pierce, turned, noticed Rosa, and quickly composed herself. I'm leaving. If anyone asks, tell them Allison Pierce won't be in today," she said softly. Rosa nodded. "Of course, ma'am." Allison paused at the elevator. "Thank you for not staring. Most people love watching rich people fall apart. Money doesn't change that." Rosa simply smiled. "Everyone has problems, ma'am. It's the same for all of us." Allison's eyes softened. "You're wise, thank you." Over the next week, Rosa saw Allison several times. Always stressed, always on the phone, exhausted. One morning, Rosa noticed a photo on Allison's desk, a smiling baby girl with blonde hair. "That's Grace," Allison said softly, appearing in the doorway. 7 months old now. This was taken before everything got complicated. "She's beautiful." Rosa's heart ached at the image. "She is. My son, he's sick, leukemia, but he's getting better. He's a fighter." Allison looked at her in surprise. "How do you do it? Work, bills, raising a child alone?" "The same way you do, ma'am. One day at a time. And I remind myself he's worth every sacrifice." Suddenly, Allison's phone buzzed. Her face went pale. "My ex-husband, he's threatening to take Grace today. Right now. He's at my apartment with lawyers, I have to get to her." Rosa watched her run toward the elevator, feeling helpless, but also sensing something bad was coming. It was 8:47 a.m., and Rosa was mopping the lobby floor when Allison rushed in, pushing a stroller. Grace was crying. "The restraining order," he showed up with his lawyers again, Allison explained frantically. "I had to call the police just to get out. Don't let Marcus near me or Grace. I don't care what he says." Rosa watched as they disappeared in the elevator, worry gnawing at her gut. Something terrible was coming, she could feel it. 9:15 a.m. Rosa was cleaning the 18th floor when a commotion erupted below, screaming, shouting. She ran to the stairwell. Catherine, or rather Allison, was on the marble floor. Grace's stroller was tipped over. A man, tall and muscular, was scooping up the screaming baby. Rosa didn't think. She ran down the stairs. The man was 10 feet from the exit, Grace screaming in his arms. Security was still too far away. Grabbing the only weapon she had, a broom, Rosa yelled, "Let go of that baby." The man turned. Cold eyes, scarred cheek. "You're crazy," he sneered. "I said, put her down." Rosa shouted. The man laughed, a low, cruel sound. "You're going to stop me with a broom?" Rosa's chest tightened, but she didn't flinch. She saw Grace's terrified eyes, and all thoughts of her own safety vanished. "Diego, what if someone ever took him like this?" "I don't care if you have a gun, a tank, or 100 men," Rosa said through gritted teeth. "You're not leaving here with that baby." The kidnapper's expression flickered, surprise, maybe even fear. No one had stood up to him before. He reached for the bulge in his jacket. Rosa swung the broom with everything she had. It hit his arm, knocking him off balance. Grace wobbled in his grip. He growled and lunged at her. Rosa swung again, connecting with his face. The wooden handle cracked against his nose. Blood sprayed, and he roared in pain. Grace cried even louder, but Rosa didn't hesitate. She dove forward, catching the baby before she hit the marble floor. Rosa's body slammed hard against the ground, pain exploding in her ribs, but she held on tight. "Give me the kid," shouted a voice. "Freeze. NYPD." 3 officers burst through the entrance, guns drawn. The kidnapper's eyes widened. He hesitated, then bolted, but he didn't get far. The officers tackled him just a few steps from the door. Rosa lay on the cold floor, cradling Grace, her ribs screaming, heart pounding. But she'd done it. She had saved her. Allison had regained consciousness and crawled over, sobbing. My baby," she cried, wrapping her arms around Grace. Rosa carefully handed the baby to her. You saved her, Allison whispered, tears streaming down her face. You saved my daughter. Rosa tried to sit up, wincing as pain shot through her ribs. I just did what had to be done. Paramedics and additional police arrived, securing the lobby. One officer knelt beside Rosa. Ma'am, that was incredibly brave. And incredibly stupid. He had a gun. I know, Rosa said simply. But someone had to stop him. 3 hours later, Rosa was in the hospital. 2 cracked ribs, a concussion, and a lot of bruises. She was arguing with the nurse about being discharged when Allison walked in, still holding Grace. Rosa. I'm so glad you're okay, Allison said, her voice breaking. You risked your life for my daughter. Most people would freeze, but not you. Rosa shook her head. I have a son. If someone took him, I'd hope someone would stop them. That's all. Allison nodded, understanding in her eyes. The police told me everything. The man. Dean Cross, he's a professional kidnapper. My ex-husband, Marcus, hired him. He tried to take Grace because he couldn't win custody. Both of them are arrested now. Rosa's eyes widened. He hired someone to take her. Allison nodded grimly. Then her gaze softened. Tell me about your son, Diego. Rosa hesitated. Talking about Diego's illness always felt like inviting pity. He's doing better. Treatments are working. How much do you still owe for his medical bills? Allison asked gently. $47,000, Rosa whispered. Give me your information, Allison said. Rosa hesitated. Pride and habit screamed at her not to accept help. But she thought of Diego, the stack of bills, the endless nights working 2 jobs, the fear that she might not be able to cover his next treatment. All right, she whispered, giving Allison her information. A few minutes later, Allison looked up with a smile. Done, $47,000 is covered. And the rest, it's for you and Diego. Buy a bigger apartment, take a vacation, stop working yourself to exhaustion. You deserve it. Rosa could hardly breathe. I can't accept that. Yes, you can, Allison said firmly. You saved my daughter. There's no amount of money that could repay that, but this is a start. Then Allison added something that made Rosa's jaw drop. I'm creating a new position at my company, Director of Building Operations, $150,000 a year, full benefits. You'll oversee all maintenance and cleaning staff across my properties. I've been watching you work for 3 weeks, thorough, honest, brave. This job, it's yours if you want it. Rosa blinked, speechless. A job? No, Allison said gently. A career. You've earned it. And if someone like you can stand up to a kidnapper with a broom, imagine what you can do with a real team and a budget. Rosa thought of Diego, of being able to come home early to tuck him in, of finally paying the bills without panic. Yes, she whispered. I'll take it. 2 months later, Rosa walked the Langford Plaza lobby in a sharp professional suit, holding a tablet instead of a mop. She coordinated cleaning crews, maintenance teams, and security staff. Helen, her old supervisor, now reported to her. The irony was delicious. Mrs. Delgado, one of the guards called. Someone here to see you. Rosa turned and saw Diego holding hands with Allison. The boy's color was better, he had gained weight, and his smile lit up the lobby. Mama. Diego ran into her arms, and she scooped him up carefully. Catherine. I mean, Allison, Rosa said, smiling. You didn't have to bring him here. I wanted him to see where his hero mama works, Allison said, smiling, holding Grace snugly in a sling. The baby, now 8 months old, cooed happily. And he should see the bravery that saved me. Diego looked up at Rosa. Mama, you were the bravest person ever. Rosa felt tears prick her eyes. I just did what I had to do. Months later, Rosa's life had completely changed. She had a beautiful apartment in a safe neighborhood, Diego was in remission, and she had a secure career. On her office wall, framed above her desk, hung the wooden broom that had saved Grace's life. A plaque read, "She who protects the innocent with whatever she has is the truest kind of hero." Rosa smiled every time she looked at it. She knew the truth: heroes weren't people with superpowers. Heroes were ordinary people who, when faced with a choice between standing aside and standing up, chose to fight, even if all they had was a broom. Diego tugged at her sleeve one evening. "Mama, can Grace be my little sister?" Rosa looked at Allison, then at Grace, then at Diego. 6 months ago, she had been barely surviving. Now she had a career, financial security, and a family that extended beyond blood. "Yes," Rosa said, voice steady, filled with love. "Yes to all of it." And just like that, one ordinary woman's courage had changed 3 lives forever.